Jesse Ventura, thanks for coming on with us. Good to have you back here.
Hi, Alex. I guess it's nice to be back, but I don't know. Mexico gets more attractive all the time.
It absolutely does. Are you kidding? I would love to be down there in the beach and the surf as well. I went down to Mexico for a week a few months ago, and I wanted to stay. Speaking of Mexico, let's bring up a question you haven't been asked. What do you think about all the hype of this flu? A couple people die and they act like it's the end of the world, and Obama saying that we may all be forced to take an inoculation in the fall.
Well, it's certainly something that you don't poo-poo. Anytime you get a type of sickness like this, you need to pay attention to it. But I think it was completely overhyped by the media to put the country again into a scare pattern, which seems to be what the media enjoys to do now, is to cause fear and have everyone living in fear. What they need to understand is, okay, if there were 1,500 cases of it in Mexico City, yes, that's something to be very concerned about. I feel the Mexicans, I was down there, they did a terrific job with what they could do. They closed all the schools. They shut down all the soccer games. They did everything conceivably they could do. But remember, Mexico City is a city, 2 or 3 times the size of New York?
Yeah, it's 30 plus million.
Nearly 20 million people live there. 1,500 cases of something is not that large. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be looked at, of course. But when I came home, I went to the airport because I flew this time. They made you fill out a questionnaire, and they asked you questions about your, how you felt. And then they actually had this device where they touched it to your wrist, and it took your temperature. And they wrote that down, and if you went up to fly out, if your temperature was too high, you didn't get on the plane.
Amazing.
So Mexico did everything they could within their power when they learned that the swine flu was going around, that they did everything conceivably as a poorer nation that they could possibly do.
Well, Governor, I agree with you, but I agree with the first thing you said. This was used to create hype and fear, and then to openly introduce, we might need to have martial law. There's going to be another breakout soon, and it's this whole infrastructure. Getting to the big national controversy, you've caused quite a buzz and helped, really, I think, single-handedly push it back into the spotlight that Cheney and Bush committed all these crimes, ordered torture, and then burned their own underlings and sent them to prison for it, and are now denying it when we have their own memos from Gonzalez and others in Bush's speech. What should be done? What's your idea? A hearing in Congress? They'll just whitewash it. I mean, if we don't bring Bush and Cheney to justice, and if Obama covers for him, as he said he's going to, quote, move forward, and I mean, what do we do about this from your view?
First of all, Alex, let's understand why the president wants to move forward. Because the Democrats are involved, too.
Yes.
Good
point.
Now, maybe they didn't order it, but in my opinion, they certainly knew it was going on, and they didn't step forward because of their, let's remember, Democrats truly don't have spines for the most part. And so they condoned it and went along with it. That's why they don't want to continue with it. It's because whenever the government tells you it's time to move on, that means that both parties are involved and both of them did something wrong. They don't want you to know about it, so they want you to move on. And so that's the dilemma you're faced with. And in light of the fact that it's basically all Democrats and Republicans in the Congress and everywhere out there, they're going to move on. And we'll be left like we always are, Alex, yelling out there going, where's justice?
Well, that's my big...
Justice will have been lost or blinded.
Well, that's my question to you. I mean, from your perspective, how do we get out of this left-right where, as you described when we interviewed you, 2 different wrestlers, play the bad guy, the good guy, but really they're on the same team? How do we get past that and ever get these special interests and these elites out of the way that are doing this to us?
Well, Alex, that's simple. The lemmings out there have to start voting for the independents. Look, we tried our asses off to get Dean Barkley elected. He did very, very well. He got over 400,000 votes. But we have to continue from there and keep going. The only way is to win elections. The only way is to not vote for Democrats and Republicans and stop being lemmings and believing it's your only choice.
Absolutely. It's like a Don King.
Can it be done? I don't know.
Well, it's like a Don King boxing match. I mean, both fighters are owned by him, so what's the point of watching it? It's a rigged deal. Speaking of Dick Cheney.
Alex, come on. So is wrestling, and that's entertaining as hell.
Hey, speaking of that, you went to UFC and saw one of those events, didn't you? Do you still think it might be fake?
The Ultimate Fighting?
Yeah.
Let me put it to you this way. Brock Lesnar, who's the champ now, right?
Yes.
Brock Lesnar told me that pro wrestling is tougher.
Really?
Yeah, that kind of stuns you, doesn't it? But you know why he says it? Here's why. Brock told me pro wrestling is harder because in Ultimate Fighting, he only has to go in there for 15 minutes of hell. Then he takes 2 to 3 months rest. He trains for 2 months, and he goes back in for 15 minutes of hell. Well, in pro wrestling, you got to wrestle every night. You got to do interviews. You got to travel all over the country from one end to the other. It's the most exhausting business you can possibly be in. So that's why. Do I think they're really fighting? Yes, I do.
Have you seen the movie The Wrestler?
But the point is it's only for 15 minutes, and then they get a 6-month rest.
Sure. Have you seen the movie The Wrestler?
No, I have not. I just got back from Mexico.
I want to get your take on that.
Well, I can tell you this. I think that rather than what Hulk Hogan says it's about him, no, it's not. But from what I know about the film, I believe it's about Jake the Snake Roberts much more, because if you go to a movie that was a documentary called Beyond the Mat that was done by a friend of mine, Barry Blaustein, if you go watch that movie, you'll see that this character very much parallels the Mickey Rourke character in the fact that he went through ups and downs. He achieved the greatest in his career. He ended up down on the bottom again, and he had a great deal of battle with a lot of demons, including a daughter. Who, in the documentary, it shows Jake's rough relationship with his daughter, which very much parallels the Rourke character in the movie The Wrestler.
Well, obviously, it's not about Hulk Hogan. It's about a guy who's living in a trailer shack and is totally broke and has a heart attack. I mean, Hogan is something else, I guess, complete egomaniac.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Hogan's out there saying just because the guy says brother, it's about me. I don't think so.
Hey, by the way, I loved what you revealed about Hogan on Stern the other day. I happened to hear that. Don't do it here.
No, I won't.
This is a conservative show, but it was hilarious.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. The time we've got, we're going to get serious.
Hulk forgets something. We Navy SEALs don't get mad. We get even.
Well, when I've got you for a full hour to take calls, come up in about 8-9 days. We appreciate that time. Sure. We'll get more into all that other stuff and all the serious issues. But tell us about the paperback of Don't Start the Revolution Without Me.
Well, I added, because the epilogue was now outdated. I don't know if they removed it, but I added a couple new chapters and we updated it, which is what they always do when a hardcover goes to paperback. But, I updated a new chapter in it and all that stuff. But again, it's a wake-up call, I hope. I hope this country will wake up to the fact that, dissension is the greatest form of patriotism, and the fact that if you don't hold your government officials' feet to the fire, you're going to get bad government, that's good, that's not unpatriotic. And we better start taking our country back or we're going to lose it, because, Alex, to me, if we're torturing people now, that means the terrorists are winning, because they're changing America. And that's what they've set out to do. Do we really want them to win? I don't.
Well, Jesse, Governor, you're a smart guy, and we've had a lot of talks, and I know you're getting deeper into the whole underworld of the New World Order and all this, doing a lot more research on it and working on a lot of projects, a book and a TV show and the rest of it. I don't know how much that we can get into, but some of that's got gag order on it because it's being produced right now. But we talk about the buildings clearly being blown up. And then the question is, who could put them in there? Who could do it? I know you've been in Mexico, but now they've had top scientists, 2 peer-reviewed journals, top Dutch physicists have come out, international news, BBC, national TV in Europe, confirming they actually got the thermate samples from the buildings. They were blown up with explosive thermate. Then you have the folks at NIST that are covering all this up. There still happen to be 3 of the top 7 or so experts in explosive thermate in the world. So, come on, this whole terrorist thing, it's a fraud. They've used this to take our liberties, to take our freedoms. And the same elite that was in control when Bush was in control is in control with Obama. Aren't you worried that they're talking about going into Iran now? And aren't you worried the same global elite might stage more terror attacks? Or do you think that was just Bush?
Well, I don't know. You know, I guess I hate to say it, but until they do something, we won't know, will we, Alex? You know, because we're not on the inner circle. We're not sitting in on the meetings where the decisions are made. So I can only respond as it happens.
You're listening to GCN, the world leader in independent talk radio.